Hi, everyone. Welcome to Confidently Be You. My name is Jennifer Shlomovich, and I am back from taking a couple of months off from posting content on this channel. So I just wanted to take a moment and reconnect with you all. So I hope you all have had a really good summer. I can't believe we are already in September of 2022. This year has gone by really, really fast. At least for me, it has. And yeah, it's been quite a bit of a journey this year for me. Um, as I took some time off, I did some more personal development work. I got a Reiki 1 certification, and that has been an interesting uh, time for me. Reiki is a form of energetic healing, and I've been working on creating my own Reiki practice, and eventually I'd like to incorporate Reiki with the work that I do with others. And as I went through the Reiki attunement process and have been working with Reiki, it's definitely brought up some big things for me to work on within myself. Wounding that I thought that I had already healed or worked on or resolved, and things that I hadn't thought about in a while kind of resurfaced. So yeah, it's been an interesting time working through some uncomfortable emotions that I've had to process and reprocess. But healing is an ongoing process. And so one of the things that I've learned, and especially I think really understood within the past couple of years, is there's no like final destination with healing. It's like, oh, I'm going to get this, and then boom, I'm healed. I don't have, won't have any more issues on this one particular area. But the truth is, um, there's a lot of layers with that. So some different layers came up for me, and yeah, it was nice not having to worry about meeting specific deadlines for my channel while I could focus on that. But like I mentioned before, I also have been busy doing stuff with the channel, just preparing content to have up and running. Another thing that happened to me over the summer was I had a little bit of a brief health scare where early August, I was feeling this weird like pressure on my throat. It felt like my throat wanted to close, but it really wasn't. Like I was breathing fine, but it was just like this weird throat sensation. And I had it before going to bed, and then it went away, and I thought maybe it wasn't anything. And then when I woke up, it was gone, but then it came back in the afternoon. And I was also having some heart palpitations, which I've had on and off over the years, but it was just something seemed off with my body. So I decided to go to the local urgent care just to get checked out. And if it was nothing, then great. Let them tell me it was nothing. So I went to the urgent care, and they took my blood pressure and all the other normal checkup things. I noticed my blood pressure was a little bit elevated from what it was last time. And I've had periods of time where my blood pressure has gone up to like pre-hypertension levels, and I've had to do some work on that in the past, and it looks like things are sliding up that way. But it wasn't anything, it wasn't like a level to be like freaking out about, but it was still an indicator for me that I needed to start getting back into certain habits for myself. But one of the things that they mentioned at the urgent care, just to rule it out, was they wanted to take a D-dimer test, which I've never heard of, where they test your blood for something called D-dimer, which could be an indicator of blood clots or pulmonary embolism. So they told me that some of my symptoms could be symptoms that are experienced with that. So took that, came back home, logged back down my computer to do work, And around 9 o'clock that night, I got a call saying that my D dimer was elevated and then I needed to go to the emergency room to get checked for pulmonary embolism. So that was a bit concerning for sure. My husband went with me and we spent a good portion of the night in the ER. I got home around 3:30 in the morning that night or that morning. And thankfully, all my blood levels came back normal. They checked for pulmonary embolism. They did a CAT scan of my chest and everything was fine. So then I called my general practitioner, made an appointment, and went in a couple of days later to meet up with her. And she took blood work and checked the D dimer to see if maybe it was a false positive. And all my blood came back fine, except my D dimer was elevated. And so I needed to make an appointment to get my legs checked for blood clots. I had to schedule a procedure called a venous ultrasound. So later, like a few days later, I went to a different doctor's office to have my legs checked for blood clots, and thankfully, no blood clots. So then I had to make an appointment with a hematologist to get additional blood work to see if it could be from any other conditions. So I went on a vacation with my husband since everything seemed mostly okay. Like everything was fine. I was just trying to find out what was going on with the D dimer. I took a trip with my husband for a few days to Toronto, which was a lot of fun. It was a fun road trip. It was like 10-hour drive from Brooklyn. So that was a fun adventure that we had during the summer and it was a good break from just all the other stuff that was going on at the time. When I got back a couple of days later, went to visit the hematologist who took blood work. I mentioned because I had a patch of eczema that came up on my hand and was there for a few months. And I've struggled with eczema and rosacea over the years and have been able to get them under control with diet. So yeah, like through a lot of trial and error over the years, I realized certain foods were triggering those skin responses in me. So I've had this patch of eczema that I wasn't sure where it came from, that it's been there for like a few months. And so I brought that up to the hematologist, and he said that it could be some type of inflammatory response that could be causing the D dimer. He also said that he's seen people with elevated D dimer where they couldn't pinpoint a reason at all. So went to have blood work done. Everything was normal. My D dimer was still elevated, but at a much lower level than what it's been from the other 2 times that I had tests. So that, I guess, was an indicator that something was improving. Everything else was fine. And he wants me to come back in a couple of months. So in October, sometime probably like late October, I'll be going back to the hematologist to get more blood work. One of the things that I have noticed is that I like to have strawberry jam and sun butter on rice cakes a lot as a snack. And I noticed that recently I put some strawberries in a smoothie and I had a reaction where my body just got very itchy and I was feeling very weird, and I took an antihistamine. And I stopped having the strawberry jam and the eczema on my hand has cleared up. And I wonder if that was why I was having that weird breathing thing too. And wondering if maybe I've developed some kind of a strawberry allergy, which would be a bummer because I really do like strawberries. So I've been avoiding them. At some point, I might go to a doctor just to get some blood work to see if I have some food allergies. But in the meantime, seeing how I've reacted to it recently, I'm just taking a break from them until I know more. So yeah, that's been an adventure that's been an adventure for the month of August. Um, Thankfully, everything seems okay with all the blood work, other than the elevated D-dimer. Could be an inflammatory response to some foods, potentially strawberries, maybe. I don't know. And yeah, but what has happened is when I went to the hematologist, my blood pressure was even higher than before, and the highest it's been in a very long time. So, if anything, this has made me aware of I need to be working on that part of my health again, and I'm working on trying to be more active and trying to lose some weight because I think that will help. I don't commute anymore for work. I work from home. I do try to get out for walks, but I think being more sedentary has certainly had an impact on me. So it's just trying to find some time to get in more activity. And I'm also reducing the amount of sodium. I don't eat a lot of high sodium as it is. I'm pretty mindful. But when I do go out to eat, I've been trying to just be even extra mindful with certain things just to help with that, because even though it's not a serious problem, the fact that it's changed and evolved to a higher level than it's been in a while, and a pre-hypertension range, that to me is an indicator that I need to do some work to help bring that down again to a healthier level. And I just want to emphasize to all of you watching how it's so important to be on top of your doctor's appointments and your health care. It can be so easy to just push that aside when we're so busy and we have so many things pulling us in a million directions, calling our attention. And the more we postpone those things, the more things can slip through the cracks. And so it's so important to just be on top of your doctor's appointments. If you haven't gone in a while, if you're overdue, I highly recommend that you just do a checklist of who you need to see and just go and do it. Write that list out and go to your doctors. Ignorance is not bliss at all. I get it can be scary to go and sometimes find out, oh, I got to change my diet. I got to change this. I got to change that. But knowing what's going on within our bodies gives us that power to do something about it. And so I just emphasize, make sure that if you haven't gone to the doctor, to please, please, please go. So yeah, I don't know. That's a bit of a mystery as to why that happened. But yeah, I guess I will have a follow-up in a couple months, and I guess I'll do a little update when I do that. And yeah, another thing that I did over the summer was I had a virtual workshop called The 4 Types of Beliefs That Sabotage Your Success and How to Overcome Them. It is one of my favorite workshops to teach. I've taught it before in person. This was the first time I taught it virtually. So I really enjoyed teaching it. I had a good response to it. And yeah, I might do that one again soon. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Oh, and this past Labor Day weekend, I had a great camping trip with my son, Joseph. We went to the Pocono Mountains. There's this campground we like. We've been back there in 2020. It's called Mountain Vista Campground. It's a really great place. We really like it. They have a pool, shower, bathrooms, a laundry room. It's near a lot of different activities to do in the Pocono Mountains. So yeah, it's turned into one of our favorite places. So if you haven't been to the Poconos, I recommend checking out the Poconos sometime. If you live in the area, you can do it as it's a great day trip from the New York City area. But yeah, there's a lot to do. So that was a lot of fun to do, just pitching a tent and cooking over the campfire. We also went to Bushkill Falls, which was a lot of fun. The only annoying thing was towards the end of the trip, it started to rain for a bit on and off, but we packed up most of our campsite before the rain came. And so when our tents were wet, um, that morning we just threw them all in garbage bags and dried them out when we got home. So, yeah, so that was also a fun adventure that I had recently. I haven't been camping since 2020, and it is something I enjoy doing from time to time. It just brings back good memories from my childhood. It was one of the things that I would do with my family that we had a really good time. And yeah, so it was nice to be able to do that with my son. All right, so that's pretty much it for now. I look forward to sharing with you the 4 interviews that I have coming up, and I'm going to be in the process of recording some more. So yeah, stay tuned for those. And I look forward to talking to you all soon. If you want to connect with me for a one-on-one coaching session and sample what coaching with me would be like, you can schedule a clarity call with me. I have a great activity that I send participants to fill out beforehand, and then we have a powerful conversation around your responses. So if you would like to try out a clarity call with me, I will leave the link below in the notes of this video. All right, everyone, take care. I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.